Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Sunrise. During the last part, I defeated Valve Man, Circuit Man, and Scorch Man. So now, I'll continue from where I left off and defeat Vine Man. And judging from my playthroughs of the previous 3 stages, I quite enjoyed them. Sure, Scorch Man's stage was a lot more challenging compared to the previous ones, but hey, it was fun, and there were some problem segments, but overall, it was pretty enjoyable to get through. Okay, I also got the Scorch Smelter. Okay, fires a fireball forward, and it releases in 2 portions, 2 smaller fireballs going upwards and downwards. Okay, we have these platforms from Stone Man's stage, I think. Okay, we have the Chan keys. Wow, this is a pretty powerful weapon. Let me see how the circuit breaker works against these. Oh, the circuit breaker is a little bit weaker than I expected it to be. Okay, so I have to get across here. A little bit of a tight jump, but hey. Oops, I failed to jump over there. Isn't this the Wily Stronghold 1 team from Mega Man Eternal? At least that's what I think it is from. Ow. Okay, these hop from one side of the screen to another and then fire a missile at you. Okay. I may need the circuit breaker for this boss. I know that the V missile is strong against Scorch Man for some reason, so I know that weakness sort of. I do wish I had the energy balancer or a quick weapon switch button so I didn't need to keep switching between weapons so often. Okay, we have a turtle. Oh, there's a death spike on the left. Okay, it flies across the screen a few times, and then it gets out of its shell and releases a missile. Fair enough. Ooh, over a bottomless pit it seemed. And that was my fault. Just as I got an extra life, I died. That was all on me. Oh, it's not too far back anyway. Okay, Chan keys take about 4 hits to kill. If I just use the S Scorch Smelter, I can just kill them in 1 hit. That's pretty useful. As long as I can get them on the edge, of course. I gotta get used to these platforms though, because I know there'll be a segment later on in the level where it'll be taking place over a bottomless pit. I know from previous Mega Man games that this will happen. They're training me for that. And don't jump off of this ladder. It's going to end in your death. Okay, 4 hits, but it is shielded, so you gotta be careful. Okay, I made it. That was really my fault from before. I'm not sure why there's a platform on the right when you can just jump over, reach the ladder. I guess that was a holdover from the NES titles. Or NES design, where you usually wouldn't be able to reach it. Okay, here's the segment I was talking about. Oh boy. If I started to rush it just a little bit lower, I would have been fine. But if I didn't have the control over midair, where in this game it seems like the physics for midair collisions is a bit more forgiving. As you saw over there, when I got hit, I got sent backwards, but I lost all my vertical velocity, so I was stuck in midair, and then once I got out of knockback, I could move again. In most other Mega Man fan games and mainline games, if you got hit while in midair, gravity would still work and you would usually fall into a pit like this, or if you were lucky, you would fall into the platform. But here, it temporarily freezes yourself. This game temporarily freezes you in the horizontal axis, sending you backwards, and turning off your gravity for a while, and then once you get control, you start falling. Definitely a lot more forgiving, although it does decrease the challenge a little bit. Oh no, Pippies? Especially in this stage. Oh boy. Oh, I'm not liking where this is going. Oh, I made it. If I wasn't that quick on the draw, I would have fallen on the right path. And my trophy for this is getting a lot extra large life pickup. And apparently I actually got an extra life again. Seriously, either the drop rate for this game for extra lives is high, or I'm getting really lucky for some reason. Of course, I missed that. Well, considering he's based off of vines, I suppose he's weak against the scorch smelter. After all, fire burns away vines, I believe. No, he's not weak against it. But if I time it correctly while he's running, I can hit him multiple times. Wow, contact damage is really damaging. Well, I suppose I'll just have to Buster Only it then. Considering how slow the Scorch Smelter is, I could hit it multiple times, but why would I when I have the Mega Buster? Let's try doing this the classic way. Actually, I didn't even try Matter Weapon. Completely immune against that. Okay, he's immune against all my special weapons. Figures. Ow. That was my fault. Ow. Still getting used to his pattern. Sorry. Yeah, it's when he stops abruptly in the middle of the room after walking for a while that I don't know, that really trips me up. And considering how high contact damage he has, more so than the other bosses I believe, this is going to be a problem. I suppose he's weak against one of the Rod Master weapons and the later bunch. Okay, he releases a flower after a while. That explains something. Ow. I don't know when he's going to switch between firing that vinyl wave or that vine whip. You know what, I'm just gonna use an E-Tank. I don't know what his pattern is at all, and it's gonna take a long time otherwise. There we go. Vine Man is definitely harder than the previous few Road Masters. Whereas Scorch Man focused on a set pattern but high precision, this one focuses much more on reacting to the patterns. Because I can't determine when he's going to use his Vine Whip versus using that Vine Wave on the floor. Because I can't switch between the two, I can't really determine when he's going to do either one. I get tripped up, and so I'll either get hit by his Vine Wave or the Vine Whip, which seems to be a pretty powerful melee weapon. And of course I don't know when he jumps, I can't tell when he's going to do either, so that results in a problem. Adding to the fact that he stops abruptly while walking through the room, and he has a high amount of contact damage, yeah, this makes for a recipe for a very tough boss. Alright, we've reached the first mid-boss, and of course it's Trance. Wow, Trance seems to have gotten a ball and chain, so I suppose she's Nightman now? Or something like Nightman? Gosh, I think I've heard this music somewhere before, but I can't recall where. Okay, we're going directly to the boss. No stage. Okay, that's a little bit slower than I expected. Intro. Whoa. Okay, so she throws her ball and chain. I'm gonna be silent for now. Okay, she's jumping around the room. Okay, she jumps around the room 4 times. And she jumps up, so I suppose she's gonna stomp down sometime. Yep. And she releases all those dropping stones everywhere. Okay, she throws that ball and chain at the beginning of your pattern to where your last position was. And then she throws it against the wall regardless of where you're at. And then once it's at the ground, it doesn't hurt you, but you have to worry about the ground or the ceiling collapse. She does a lot of damage per hit, but she is slow, so we have a lot of chances for hurting her. I think I'll do this buster only. There we go. I was right. Okay, good. I was right. Ow. Okay, so she'll jump 4 times now. And when she does that, she'll do that shockwave attack. Wait for her to get off. Whoa. That was bad. If I can get the positioning right, I can do this a lot better. Very fun boss fight. It is really pattern based, but at least I can get used to what's going on. Ow. So she'll jump 4 times now. Still have a hard time dodging that attack. Ow. When she does that stomp, it does a ton of damage though, so I gotta be careful. And that was my fault, because I didn't jump at the right time. She only had 1 peck of health left, so I'll do this buster only. It seems fair enough. She isn't that difficult to... She isn't that random, she follows a set pattern, but you have to be careful so you don't get hurt. Or you mistake the pattern so you take a lot of damage. Fair enough. And still I keep mixing that part up. And then she jumps up. There we go. Ow, that was my fault. If I can keep this straight, I'll be able to win. Still, I can't figure out how to jump over her. Okay, she should jump up at this point. Okay, if I can get to the other side of the room while there's a collapse, I should be fine. Okay, if I can keep this up, I should be able to win this fight. There we go. Trance has been defeated. She left her ball and chain as well. Pretty fun boss fight, very heavily pattern-based like Scorched Man, though not as difficult as him because we don't have as much precision. There's a lot of guiding where she'll be reaching when she's jumping around and throwing her mace, or Trance Wrecker. Definitely my second favorite boss fight in the game currently, next to Scorched Man. Here Mega Man is trying to snap Trance out of her mind control or whatever. But, well, we kind of destroyed her, so I suppose that was non-canon. Well, at least we got her back, and we got the Trance Wrecker. Okay, she's going after Dr. Wily again. This doesn't seem like a good recipe for success, considering what happened before. Of course, now she's recruited 4 more Roadmasters in order to pursue Dr. Wily. Okay, so this is a different... Okay, so this is how the game explains the 8 Roadmaster fights here. But of course, Dr. Wily's code isn't actually expunged from her yet. So she is kind of a maverick or renegade, so once he defeats Dr. Wily or kills him or whatever, well, something else bad may happen, so we gotta stop her. Well, we'll stop the first 4 Roadmasters, of course. The second set of 4 Roadmasters. I wonder where these Roadmasters came from. Did she convince them, or did she infect them with the Wily virus? Anyways, we have Kunai Man, Sound Man, Mirage Man, and Haze Man. We have a ninja, we have sound, we have mirrors, mirages, and haze. Well, I do have the circuit breaker, so I suppose, considering Sound Man is going to be based off of sound electronics, the circuit breaker would have an advantage against him. But then again, my type advantage before failed, and I had the odd scenario where the the Valve Missile had an advantage against Scorchman for some reason. Okay, let's do Sound Man then. Well, to be fair, water beats fire, but it's kind of strange why a Valve Missile, it doesn't have any water characteristics. Okay, now we have Solar Man's team from Mega Man Rock Force, and the Crash Man platforms. Oh, and the Tellys, of course, can't forget them. You know, I'm just gonna skip this segment entirely. How does the Trance Wrecker work? Okay, so when it hits the ground, it'll hurt all enemies. Oh, it can also destroy the spines. I think I'll go a little bit crazy with the Trance Wrecker for now, just to see how it goes. So it can hurt enemies regardless of where it's actually being thrown. Okay, but it only does half the damage when it actually hits the ground, apparently. Or from my estimate. Whereas if I hit an enemy with it, it does the normal amount of damage. Fair enough. Can I open this? Still, I don't have an explosive weapon. Oh yeah, and the Vine Whip. It's a melee weapon, which is a vine. Oh no. Yoku blocks. Not too bad yet, but... okay. Straightforward, but I don't know how powerful it is yet. Oh, extra life. Thank you, Telly. Whoa. That was actually a very easy Yoku block section. Another life. Seriously, I'm going to be... whoa. That was my fault. I thought it was going I thought the Crashman platform was going the other way. Let me see how strong the Vine Whip is. Against the stronger enemy, of course. Like these Tadayons. Oh, still not strong enough. It's useful against closer up enemies, but otherwise, I wish it was a little bit stronger. So I'm gonna spend most of this time just using the Trance Wrecker. For that reason alone, because it can hurt all enemies regardless if it actually hits. Whoa. Ow. Pop-up attackers, of course. I'm gonna hold off for a little bit because I need some extra weapon energy for the Trance Wrecker. For a stage based off of a sound, I feel this is more like Crashman's stage done better. Sure, there's a lot of sound gimmicks in the background, but nothing really to do with sound itself. Compared to the sound-based Roadmaster in Mega Man Dr. Wily's Final Attack, this one just feels like the sound gimmicks are in the background, and everything else is based off of Crashman's team. There's only one sound-based enemy, those towers, which use those waves, like here. But the rest of the enemies are just classic Mega Man foes that could be part of any other Mega Man stage, personally. The sound-based Roadmaster in Dr. Wily's Final Attack did a lot better. Did the job of making a sound-based Roadmaster stage much better because most of the enemies in that stage and the gimmicks were based off of sound. Actually, there was a sound-based gimmick in that stage, whereas here it's just Crashman platforms and Yoku blocks. So that game definitely did the sound-based Roadmaster better. This stage is... oh, shoot. I really need that E-Tank. As I was saying, that game did its sound-based Roadmaster better. Even Revolution did its sound-based Roadmaster better because we had a lot more sound-based gimmicks there. And the way that Revolution Remix is turning out, It seems a lot of promise of upgrading Sound Man's stage. Of course, this is not... there's no way I can get across that, it's too tight. You know how my feelings are for these tight jumps. Oh boy, more Yoku blocks. Oh, that was my fault, of course. Well, at least it's not over a death pit. Okay, very easy Yoku block segments, relatively speaking. Would like an extra life to make up for the... Okay, thank you, game. I was just going to ask you to add that. Oh no. Time to Trance Wrecker. Trance Wrecker is so useful, being able to hurt all enemies at once. Crying out loud. I didn't want to move left. Or, I mean right. This is one of the places where in Mega Man games I really wish I could move left. Okay, we're back. As I was saying, here's another use for Trance Wrecker. Being able to hurt multiple enemies at once is really useful. Definitely my favorite weapon out of all Roadmaster weapons in this game. The rest feel kind of weak, personally, other than the S-Smelter. But this one feels really strong, being able to hurt enemies for 2 points of damage, being able to multi-hit because of its larger hitbox, continuous damage, and the fact it can hurt all enemies on screen, even if it doesn't really hit anything. So it acts like a screen nuke as well. Oh boy, this segment. A little bit close there, but fairly easy. Most of the Yoku block segments are relatively tame compared to other ones I've experienced. Okay, let me test my experiment with Roadmaster weapons against Sound Man and see who is he weak against. Nope. Immune to that. A Smelter. Immune. Immune. Circuit Breaker. Okay, as I expected. It seems like he jumps a lot, so having the Circuit Breaker follow the wall contours of the room, that's going to be really useful. Gosh, his design reminds me of someone else. Someone familiar. Okay. Yeah, definitely useful because he can jump around the room all that much. Especially because I can actually fire 2 at a time. Well, this is an interesting fight. He's a little bit slow, but because of all the projectiles or sound waves he can fire that bounce across the room, it can become quite a problem. I'll probably explore how he fights more in an extra part or in the boss rush. And so by defeating him, we get the Sound Dash, aka the Sound Dash attack he did. Pretty interesting. I wonder if we can do it in mid-air like what we could do with the Comet Dash in Mega Man Unlimited. If so, this will be a very useful air control move. Like if you have to go through areas with very tight passageways, we can use this to get over short ones. And you don't have to deal with using the Rush Jet's finickiness or extra height. Well then, to summarize what happened in this part, I defeated Vine Man, Trance, and Sound Man. During the next part, I'll complete the last 3 Roadmaster stages. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Toodles!